Today's podcast is brought to you by Quantrix Modeler Introductory Training, teaching the fundamental foundation that you need to become a Quantrix master. Go to quantrixauthority.com to learn more.
Show me how you do Quantrix.
Hey, welcome back to another Netcast. I'm Rich Lopez, Quantrix Authority. Sincerely appreciate you joining me for episode number 202. Pound size error fixed using Dependency Inspector, another example. This is possibly the number one or number two error that you come across in Quantrix, and I think it was episode 126 where I showed you how to fix this error using the Dependency Inspector, and I've got another question asked at quantrixauthority@gmail.com how to fix this error with a sample model, and I wanted to show it to you again just because I think repetition is indeed the mother of all learning, or as the Ukrainians or Russians would say, повторение mat izuchenia. So without further ado, let's have some repetition on how to fix this pound size error. So I have this formula here that has a sum select statement, and what the select statement is doing is it's going out and it's pulling in information from this matrix, okay, and it's trying to summarize it by month, by quarter, by year. All right. And what it's doing is it's saying, go out and get this information here in this data list matrix where, you know, my group here, okay, matches my group over here. So how do I make this correlation happen? Well, because my department here that's associated with my group is a category that is linked to this category here, Quantrix should be able to handle this. This group mapping here is a constrained input of this group category over here. So Quantrix should be able to handle this, no problem. But for whatever reason in this example, I'm getting a pound size error. So what is the deal? Why is this happening? It shouldn't be happening, right? It should be happening. It should be working for us automatically, giving us just the summary by our group that is associated with the group here that's associated with the department ID. And as I step through this with the Dependency Inspector, so I go ahead and I open it up here, I simply want to be looking at initially the size of my arrays that it's comparing. So I can hover on here and then I zoom in. You can see that I have 14 items in this array of data list year. Okay. So that's 14 items. If I go over to my key matrix, I zoom in there, I can see that I have 7 items in the key matrix lookup. Okay, so I have 14 and I have 7. That doesn't sound right to me. I need to have probably 7, right? Because really my key matrix just has 7 items in it. That's all it's saying, whereas what I'm trying to return has 14 items. So as I look at this further, I realize that I do not need to specify year in my select statement for my value list. I just need to specify data list like this with the double colons. If I do that, it goes ahead and gets rid of this pound size error, and indeed it sums up correctly. So if I were to look at group 1, and group 1 is mapped to 2996 and 2998, if I were to go ahead and I were to summarize those items down here, I would get 1.1 thousand in 2015. And again, if I go to group 1 and I look at that, that is indeed what I'm getting up here. It's rounded a little bit, but if I were to expand that, that is the same number here as I'm getting up here. So indeed it is working for us, and it's working beautifully. So again, I just went ahead and I hovered on this. I saw the number of items in my value list. I compared it to the number of items in my key matrix or in my key list, and then I made sure that there was proper symmetry, so made sure that there were the same number of items. And when you do that in Quantrix, you go ahead and you eliminate any pound size errors and you get the correct answer. Anyway, if you have any questions about a pound size error that you're coming across or anything in regards to Quantrix, I hope that you will reach out to me at quantrixauthority@gmail.com and ask me those questions. I absolutely love Quantrix. I want to make you a Quantrix master, so please join me again for another episode of Quantrix Authority.